During the Civil War, an entire American city was driven underground. Families in Vicksburg, Mississippi dug caves into hillsides and lived in them for weeks, while bombs rained down above them. And by the time they came out, the Confederacy had been split in half. So, to understand this battle, we need to understand a little bit about the Mississippi River. So let's look at a map. And so this represents basically where the Mississippi River is, this blue line. And Vicksburg, so if you control the Mississippi River, you can control a big part of the war, and you can control transporting of troops and supplies all along the river, but also to other rivers outside. And so controlling this river is a key strategy for the Union. Vicksburg is the last major spot. There's a couple others, at least one other spot that the Union is going to need to gain control of. But until they gain control of Vicksburg, this is essential. They've got to get it. And it's difficult because it sits on high cliffs overlooking the river, making it nearly impossible to attack from the water. As long as the Confederacy held it, they could move supplies and troops across the western states. The Union needed it, and so they tasked Ulysses S. Grant with this job. It's a major port city on the river. If the Union can capture Vicksburg, they'll control the Mississippi River. You can see here where it is, right here, last big spot that they have to gain still. Now, this image just kind of shows you the importance. This is the size of the cannons and guns that are being used in Vicksburg. And so you can imagine, these up on cliffs this is not some small little cannon shot that they're worried about. These cannons can shoot a long distance and have a big impact. And if you control Vicksburg, you can stop movement along this portion of the Mississippi River. Instead of attacking directly, Grant did something bold and risky. He marched his army south, as you can see here, crossed the Mississippi River here, and cut himself off from his own supplies. So they bring what they can, and everything else they're going to have to get from the land. And he attacked from the east, where the Confederates weren't expecting him. The Confederate commander, John C. Pemberton, was forced to back into the city of Vicksburg. So Pemberton goes into the city, and there they're going to lay siege. So in May of 1863, Union forces surrounded the city. They initially try an assault on the city. It doesn't work, and that's when Grant realizes, okay, this is going to be a siege. This is what we need to do. And so for weeks, artillery bombarded the city daily. Food supplies ran dangerously low. Disease spread. Civilians fled into caves carved into the hills. People began eating whatever they could find. Horses, mules, even rats. It was terrible. This wasn't just a battle anymore. It was survival. And one of the things you'll notice here, this is kind of a precursor to this idea that Grant will unleash on the South later, of this idea of total war, where even civilians are being subject to some of the hardships of war. So, as I said before, the siege lasts from May 18th to July 4th. Union artillery shelled the city, and you can see that a lot of the damage that's being done. After 47 days, the Confederates surrender, and this basically splits the Confederacy in half. So, remember those families living in the caves? When they finally emerged after the surrender, they came out to a completely different reality. The Confederacy was divided, the Union was in control, and the outcome of the war was starting to come into focus, especially when you consider that the very next day, or just the previous day, Gettysburg fell as well. And here's something that stuck with the city for generations. Vicksburg reportedly didn't celebrate the 4th of July for decades after the war because that was the day they surrendered.